Imbolc, purifying light. Imbolc is a significant holiday celebrated in various pagan and Wiccan traditions, marking the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It is typically observed on February 1st or 2nd in the Northern Hemisphere. Imbolc holds several key significances. Imbolc is associated with the first signs of spring and the awakening of the earth from its winter slumber. It represents the return of light, the lengthening of days, and the gradual transition from winter to spring. Imbolc is a time of hope, renewal, and anticipation of the coming spring season. Imbolc is strongly associated with the Celtic goddess Brigid, also spelled Brigid or Bride. Brigid is a goddess of inspiration, healing, poetry, smithcraft, and the sacred flame. She represents the creative and transformative powers of the divine feminine. Imbolc is often considered a festival dedicated to Brigid, with rituals and offerings made in her honor. Fire plays a significant role in Imbolc celebrations. Lighting fires symbolizes the return of the sun's warmth and the awakening of the earth. It represents the transformative power of fire and its ability to purify, inspire, and bring forth new life. Candlelit processions, hearth rituals, and bonfires are often part of Imbolc ceremonies. Imbolc is associated with the fertility of the land and agricultural traditions. It is a time when the seeds of new life are sown metaphorically and literally. Imbolc celebrations may involve rituals and blessings for the land, seeds, and livestock, invoking fertility and abundance for the coming growing season. Imbolc holds a deep connection to the cycles of nature, the turning of the seasons, and the power of the divine feminine. It is a time of transition, purification, and renewed hope as the earth begins to awaken from its winter slumber. History. Imbolc is a holiday with ancient origins, deeply rooted in Celtic and pagan traditions. Its history can be traced back to the pre-Christian era and the practices of the Celtic peoples of Ireland, Scotland, and other regions. Here is an overview of the history of Imbolc. Imbolc was one of the four major festivals celebrated by the ancient Celts, along with Samhain, Beltane, and Lunasa. It marked the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox and was associated with the changing seasons and the agricultural cycle. Fire played a significant role in Imbolc celebrations. Lighting fires symbolized the returning light and warmth of the sun, as well as the transformative and purifying power of fire. Bonfires were lit, and candlelit processions were held to honor the awakening of the earth and invoke the blessings of light and inspiration. With the spread of Christianity, Imbolc became intertwined with the Christian feast of Candlemas, which is celebrated on February 2nd. Candlemas marks the presentation of Jesus at the temple and the purification of the Virgin Mary. Many of the traditions and symbols associated with Imbolc were assimilated into the Christian observance of Candlemas, such as the lighting of candles and the association with purification. In modern times, Imbolc continues to be celebrated by various pagan and Wiccan communities, often drawing upon the ancient Celtic traditions and incorporating personal and cultural adaptations. The holiday is observed with rituals, ceremonies, feasts, and activities that honor the themes of spring, purification, creativity, and the divine feminine. Traditions. The traditions of Imbolc vary across different pagan and Wiccan traditions, as well as individual practices. However, there are some common traditions associated with the celebration of Imbolc. Here are a few examples. Candles hold a significant role in Imbolc celebrations. Lighting candles symbolizes the return of light and the awakening of the earth. Many people light candles throughout their homes, creating an ambiance of warmth and illumination. Candlelit processions or ceremonies may also be held to honor the increasing light. Imbolc is strongly associated with the Celtic goddess Brigid, and many traditions include honoring her during this time. Altars or shrines dedicated to Brigid may be set up, adorned with symbols or images representing her attributes. Offerings such as flowers, herbs, or handmade crafts may be made to invoke her blessings. Imbolc is often seen as a time for purification and clearing away the energies of winter. People may engage in rituals or practices that involve cleaning and decluttering their living spaces, physically and energetically. This process represents making way for new growth and inviting positive energies into one's life. Imbolc is associated with the beginning of the agricultural cycle and the awakening of the earth's fertility. Some traditions may involve rituals or blessings for seeds, gardens, or the land itself, invoking fertility and abundance for the coming year. It is also a time to set intentions for personal growth and new beginnings. Imbolc is a time when creativity and inspiration are celebrated. Engaging in craft work, such as making candles, creating art, or crafting Brigid's crosses, woven from reeds or straw, is a common practice during this time. Writing poetry, playing music, or engaging in any form of creative expression can be part of Imbolc traditions. Gathering for a festive meal is a common tradition during Imbolc. Sharing food with loved ones, friends, or community members is seen as a way to foster warmth and connection during the cold winter months. Traditional foods associated with Imbolc include dairy-based dishes, bread, and seasonal produce. Deities. Imbolc is associated with various deities from different mythologies and belief systems. The specific deities honored during Imbolc can vary depending on individual practices, cultural backgrounds, and personal connections. Here are a few examples of deities commonly associated with Imbolc. Brigid is a Celtic goddess who holds significant importance during Imbolc. She is associated with healing, poetry, smithcraft, inspiration, and the sacred flame. Brigid is considered a goddess of fertility, creativity, and the transition from winter to spring. Many Imbolc traditions and rituals revolve around honoring and invoking the blessings of Brigid. Ceridwen is a Welsh goddess associated with transformation, inspiration, and knowledge. She is often depicted as a wise and powerful enchantress, symbolizing the transformative powers of the seasons and the mysteries of the natural world. Ceridwen is sometimes honored during Imbolc for her connection to wisdom, intuition, and the cycle of life. In Greek mythology, Persephone is associated with the cycle of seasons and the transition from winter to spring. She is the daughter of Demeter, the goddess of agriculture and the harvest. Persephone's descent into the underworld during the winter months and her return to the surface in the spring symbolize the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Her emergence from the underworld aligns with the themes of Imbolc. Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, crafts, and inspiration, can also be associated with Imbolc. Her attributes of wisdom, strategic thinking, and creative inspiration resonate with the themes of new beginnings and intellectual growth during this time of year. Athena's energy can be called upon for clarity, guidance, and inspiration during Imbolc rituals and practices. Altar decor. Popular altar decorations during Imbolc often reflect the themes of the season, such as renewal, light, and the awakening of nature. Here are some popular altar decorations that are commonly used during Imbolc. Candles are a central element of Imbolc altar decorations. They symbolize the return of light, warmth, and the increasing power of the sun. Decorate your altar with candles of various colors, such as white, for purity and new beginnings, yellow, for the sun, and red, for the returning vitality of spring. Brigid's cross is a traditional symbol associated with the Celtic goddess Brigid. It is typically woven from reeds or straw and represents protection and blessings. Placing a Brigid's cross on your Imbolc altar honors the goddess and invokes her energy of healing, creativity, and inspiration. Imbolc celebrates the first signs of spring and the awakening of nature. Decorate your altar with fresh flowers, especially those that are in season during this time. Snowdrops, daffodils, crocuses, and other early spring blooms are popular choices. They symbolize the coming of new life and the beauty of the changing seasons. Imbolc is a time of planting seeds and preparing for the upcoming growing season. Decorate your altar with packets of seeds, bulbs, or sprouting plants to represent the potential for growth and new beginnings. This can also serve as a reminder of the cyclical nature of life and the importance of nurturing our dreams and aspirations. Imbolc is associated with the Celtic triple goddess, representing the maiden, mother, and crone aspects. Incorporate symbols of the triple goddess, such as a triskel or a triple moon symbol, on your altar to honor the cycles of life and the feminine energies present during this time. The cauldron or chalice represents the transformative and nurturing energies associated with Imbolc. Place a small cauldron or chalice on your altar to symbolize the sacred vessel of creation, inspiration, and the abundance of life. You can also use it for offerings, scrying, or symbolic rituals. Imbolc is a time when the veil between the worlds is considered thin, making it suitable for divination and intuitive practices. Include divination tools such as tarot cards, runes, scrying mirrors, or a pendulum on your altar to enhance your connection to the spiritual realms and to seek guidance for the coming year. Colors: white, yellow, and green symbolize the transition from winter to spring, the increasing power of the sun, and the reawakening of nature. Incorporating these colors into your Imbolc decorations, altar setup, and ritual attire can help evoke the energies and themes associated with this holiday. White is often considered the primary color of Imbolc. It symbolizes purity, cleanliness, and the blank canvas of new beginnings. White is associated with the pristine snow covering the earth during winter and the promise of the returning light and growth of spring. Yellow is another prominent color used during Imbolc. It represents the increasing power of the sun as it emerges from the darkness of winter. Yellow symbolizes vitality, warmth, and the awakening of nature. It is often associated with the flames of candles and the vibrant hues of early spring flowers. While green may not be as dominant as white and yellow, it is still significant during Imbolc. Green represents the renewal of life, growth, and the emergence of plants from their winter slumber. It signifies the return of the greenery and the promise of the coming spring. Green is often associated with the goddess Brigid and her connection to fertility and the land. Incense. The choice of incense during Imbolc can vary depending on personal preferences, traditions, and the desired energetic qualities. However, several types of incense are commonly associated with Imbolc due to their symbolic significance and their ability to enhance the atmosphere of the season. Here are a few examples. Frankincense resin is widely used in various spiritual and religious practices. It is known for its purifying and uplifting properties. Burning frankincense during Imbolc can help cleanse the space, uplift the spirits, and create a sacred and inviting atmosphere for rituals and celebrations. Myrrh resin is often burned alongside frankincense and has a rich, earthy scent. It is associated with purification, protection, and spiritual connection. Burning myrrh during Imbolc can help set a sacred space, deepen meditation or reflection, and invoke the energy of transformation and renewal. Cedar incense is known for its grounding and purifying qualities. It is associated with protection, strength, and connection to nature. Burning cedar during Imbolc can help cleanse and purify the space, invite the energy of renewal, and establish a strong and stable foundation for the season. Sandalwood is a highly regarded incense with a sweet and soothing scent. It is often used for meditation, relaxation, and spiritual rituals. Burning sandalwood during Imbolc can help create a serene and peaceful atmosphere, facilitate introspection and connection to inner wisdom, and enhance the sense of renewal and new beginnings. Rose incense carries the energies of love, beauty, and healing. It is associated with the divine feminine and the heart chakra. Burning rose incense during Imbolc can help invoke feelings of love, compassion, and self-care. It can also enhance rituals or activities focused on inner healing, emotional well-being, and the nurturing aspects of the season. Cinnamon incense has a warm and spicy aroma that is often associated with Imbolc. It represents vitality, passion, and the awakening of energies. Burning cinnamon incense during Imbolc can evoke a sense of warmth, stimulate creativity, and enhance the celebratory atmosphere of the season. Stones and crystals. There are several stones and crystals that are commonly associated with Imbolc due to their energetic properties, symbolism, and connection to the themes of renewal and awakening. Here are a few stones and crystals that are popular during Imbolc. Amethyst is a purifying and spiritually uplifting stone. It is often used during Imbolc to cleanse and clear stagnant energies, making way for new beginnings. Amethyst is also associated with intuition and spiritual growth, aligning with the introspective and transformative aspects of Imbolc. Clear quartz is a versatile and amplifying crystal that can be used for various purposes. It enhances clarity, focus, and intention setting, making it suitable for Imbolc rituals and manifestations. Clear quartz can help attune to the energy of the season and amplify the intentions of growth and renewal. Garnet is a stone of vitality, passion, and regeneration. It symbolizes the awakening of life force energy and encourages the pursuit of one's desires. Garnet can be used during Imbolc to inspire motivation, ignite creative energy, and bring a sense of warmth and passion to the season. Moonstone is associated with feminine energy, intuition, and new beginnings. It aligns with the cyclical nature of the seasons and the phases of the moon. Moonstone is often used during Imbolc to tap into intuition, connect with inner wisdom, and embrace the receptive and intuitive aspects of the season. Snowflake obsidian is a stone of purity and balance. It resonates with the energy of winter and the snow-covered landscapes. Snowflake obsidian can be used during Imbolc to release negativity, promote inner harmony, and bring a sense of grounding during the transitional period between winter and spring. Rose quartz is a stone of love, compassion, and emotional healing. It can be used during Imbolc to foster self-love, nurture relationships, and invite gentle, nurturing energy into one's life. Rose quartz aligns with the themes of connection, renewal, and emotional well-being during the season. Animals. Several animals are associated with Imbolc due to their symbolism, seasonal significance, and mythological connections. Here are some animals commonly associated with Imbolc. Sheep are often associated with Imbolc because it is the time when their lambing season begins. The sight of newborn lambs and the nurturing care of ewes symbolize fertility, rebirth, and the return of life to the land. Birds, especially those returning from migration or starting their courtship rituals, are associated with Imbolc. The return of migratory birds signals the arrival of spring and the renewal of life. Robins, swans, geese, and other birds are often seen as messengers of the changing seasons and the awakening of nature. In some mythologies and traditions, the serpent is associated with Imbolc. The serpent represents transformation, rebirth, and the awakening of primal energies. It is seen as a symbol of wisdom, healing, and the life force that begins to stir during the early stages of spring. Bears are connected to Imbolc through their association with hibernation and awakening from winter slumber. In some traditions, the emergence of bears from their dens is seen as a sign of the return of vitality and the stirring of nature's energy. Groundhogs, or woodchucks, are particularly associated with the holiday of Groundhog Day, which falls close to Imbolc. According to folklore, if a groundhog emerges from its burrow and sees its shadow on February 2nd, it indicates that winter will last for 6 more weeks. The groundhog's emergence is seen as a sign of the changing seasons. The Celtic goddess Brigid, closely associated with Imbolc, has animals sacred to her, including cows, swans, and owls. These animals are sometimes connected to Imbolc celebrations as they represent aspects of Brigid's attributes such as fertility, grace, wisdom, and inspiration. Trees. Several trees are associated with Imbolc, each representing different aspects of the season and the energy of renewal. Here are a few trees commonly associated with Imbolc. Birch is often associated with Imbolc due to its symbolic significance of new beginnings, purity, and the return of light. In Celtic mythology, the birch tree is associated with the goddess Brigid and is seen as a sacred tree of protection, fertility, and healing. Its white bark is reminiscent of the winter landscape and represents the potential for growth and transformation. The rowan tree holds a significant place in Celtic folklore and is associated with protection and divination. It is often called the Tree of Life, and is associated with the goddess Brigid. Rowan berries are traditionally used in protective charms and rituals during Imbolc. Willow trees are closely connected to the water element and the energy of healing and intuition. They symbolize flexibility, adaptation, and the return of life. The branches of willow trees are often used for divination purposes, and their association with water represents purification and cleansing during Imbolc. Hawthorn is associated with both Beltane and Imbolc, representing the transition from winter to spring. It symbolizes protection, fertility, and spiritual growth. In Celtic mythology, The hawthorn tree is often linked to the fairy realm and is considered a sacred tree. Its blossoms appear during the early spring, making it an appropriate symbol for Imbolc. Elder trees are associated with healing, protection, and transformation. They are considered to be gateways between the human and spirit realms. Elderberries and elderflowers have long been used in herbal remedies and are linked to the energy of Imbolc, representing the emergence of life force and vitality. Flowers. Several flowers are associated with Imbolc, representing the awakening of nature, the return of light, and the energy of renewal. Here are a few flowers commonly associated with Imbolc. Snowdrops are one of the most iconic flowers associated with Imbolc. They are often the first flowers to bloom, peeking through the snow and symbolizing the arrival of spring. Snowdrops represent hope, purity, and the promise of new beginnings. Crocuses are another early blooming flower associated with Imbolc. Their vibrant colors, ranging from purple and yellow to white, bring a burst of life and beauty to the awakening landscape. Crocuses symbolize youthful energy, growth, and the emergence of new possibilities. Primroses are delicate and cheerful flowers that bloom in various colors, including pale yellow, pink, and white. They are often associated with Imbolc, representing love, transformation, and the celebration of the returning light. Primroses are seen as harbingers of spring and the renewal of life. Daffodils are bright and sunny flowers that typically bloom in early spring. Their vibrant yellow color symbolizes the increasing power of the sun and the energy of growth and vitality. Daffodils are often associated with Imbolc, representing optimism, rebirth, and the anticipation of new beginnings. Although not technically a flower, the hazel catkins hold significance during Imbolc as they are some of the first signs of life in trees. These small, pale, and fluffy catkins represent fertility, abundance, and the awakening of nature. They are often associated with the energy of Imbolc and the goddess Brigid. Herbs and spices. During Imbolc, various herbs and spices are popularly used to infuse dishes with flavors that represent the season and the energy of renewal. Here are some herbs and spices commonly associated with Imbolc. Cinnamon is a warm and aromatic spice often associated with Imbolc. Its sweet and comforting flavor adds a touch of warmth to dishes, symbolizing the increasing power of the sun and the awakening of nature. Ginger is known for its invigorating and warming properties. Its spicy and earthy flavor is often used in Imbolc recipes to bring a sense of vitality and energy, as well as to support digestion and circulation during the colder months. Nutmeg has a warm, sweet, and slightly nutty flavor. It is often used in baking and cooking during Imbolc to add depth and warmth to dishes. Nutmeg is also associated with protection and luck, making it a fitting spice for this season of new beginnings. Rosemary is an herb with a distinct pine-like aroma and a slightly peppery flavor. It is often used in Imbolc recipes to invoke feelings of purification and cleansing. Rosemary is also associated with protection, clarity, and remembrance. Thyme is a versatile herb with a fragrant and earthy flavor. It is commonly used in cooking and can add depth to savory dishes. Thyme is associated with courage, strength, and the renewal of energies, making it a suitable herb for Imbolc recipes. Bay leaves are known for their subtle and aromatic flavor. They are often used in soups, stews, and other simmered dishes during Imbolc to enhance the depth of flavors. Bay leaves are also associated with protection, healing, and purification. Allspice is a spice derived from the dried berries of the Pimenta dioica plant. It has a warm and complex flavor that resembles a combination of cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. Allspice is commonly used in baking and can bring a sense of warmth and comfort to Imbolc recipes. Foods. The foods served during Imbolc often reflect the seasonal ingredients available at this time of year and symbolize the themes of light, warmth, and the awakening of nature. Here are some popular foods associated with Imbolc. Dairy products, particularly those associated with milk, are commonly consumed during Imbolc. This is because Imbolc marks the beginning of the lactation period for many farm animals, signifying the return of life and abundance. Foods such as milk, cheese, butter, and yogurt can be incorporated into dishes or enjoyed as standalone items. Bread and grains are often included in Imbolc meals to represent the sustenance and nourishment of the returning season. Baking bread, particularly in the shape of a sun or a Brigid's cross, is a popular tradition during this time. Additionally, dishes made with grains like barley, oats, or cornmeal can be enjoyed as a part of Imbolc feasts. Although fresh produce may be limited during the winter, some vegetables are associated with Imbolc and can be incorporated into meals. Examples include winter greens like kale, cabbage, and chard, as well as root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, and turnips. These vegetables symbolize the resilience of life even in the colder months. Honey and berries hold significance during Imbolc as sweet treats and symbols of the returning sweetness of life. Enjoying dishes with honey, such as honey cakes or sweetened beverages, can be a delightful addition to Imbolc celebrations. If fresh berries are not available, preserved or dried berries can be used as well. Recipe. A traditional recipe for Imbolc is Brigid's crossbread. Here's a simple recipe to try. Ingredients: 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1/2 cup cold butter, cut into small pieces, 1/2 cup milk, 1 egg, beaten, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Optional: 1/2 cup raisins or currants. Instructions: preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, 220 degrees Celsius. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper. In a large mixing bowl, combine the flour, baking powder, salt, and sugar. Add the cold butter to the dry ingredients and use your fingertips or a pastry cutter to cut it into the flour mixture until it resembles coarse crumbs. If using raisins or currants, stir them into the flour mixture. In a separate bowl, whisk together the milk, beaten egg, and vanilla extract. Make a well in the center of the dry ingredients and pour the milk mixture into it. Stir until the dough comes together. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead it gently for a minute or two until smooth. Shape the dough into a round loaf and transfer it to the prepared baking sheet. Use a sharp knife to make a cross-shaped incision on the top of the loaf, symbolizing Brigid's cross. Bake in the preheated oven for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the bread is golden brown and sounds hollow when tapped on the bottom. Remove from the oven and let the bread cool on a wire rack before serving. Crafts. During Imbolc, there are several crafts and activities that people engage in to celebrate the season and honor the rebirth of nature. Here are some popular crafts and DIY projects associated with Imbolc. Crafting a Brigid's cross is a traditional Imbolc craft that honors the Celtic goddess Brigid. Using rushes, reeds, or other pliable natural materials, weave a cross-like shape with a woven pattern. Hang the cross on your door or above your hearth as a symbol of protection and to invoke the energy of Brigid. Making candles is a popular craft during Imbolc, symbolizing the returning light and warmth of the sun. Use beeswax or soy wax to create homemade candles. Add essential oils or herbs associated with Imbolc, such as lavender, rosemary, or cinnamon, for added fragrance and intention. Craft lanterns to symbolize the increasing light and the growing power of the sun. Use glass jars or paper lanterns and decorate them with symbols and colors associated with Imbolc, such as sun motifs, flames, or sprouting plants. Place candles or LED lights inside to illuminate them. Create a decorative garland using materials that symbolize the season of Imbolc. Use dried flowers, herbs, ribbons, and natural elements like feathers or pine cones. Incorporate colors associated with Imbolc, such as white, yellow, green, and light blue. Hang the garland around your home or altar. Craft your own ritual bath salts infused with herbs and essential oils that represent the energy of Imbolc. Use Epsom salt or sea salt as a base and add dried herbs like lavender, rosemary, or chamomile. Blend in essential oils such as bergamot, geranium, or lemon for a refreshing and purifying bath experience. Make it. Creating a Brigid's cross is a meaningful way to welcome the goddess Brigid into your home during Imbolc. Here is a step-by-step guide to making your own Brigid's cross. Materials: 12 or 16 long, flexible rushes or straws. Scissors or a knife. String or wire. Optional. Ribbon or decorative elements for embellishment. Gather your reeds. Ensure that your reeds are dry and flexible. If they are too stiff, you can soak them briefly in water to make them pliable. Cut or trim the reeds to a consistent length, typically around 10 to 12 inches. Remove any sharp or pointed ends. Cross the reeds. Hold one rush vertical and fold another rush in half over it so it opens towards the right. Fold a third rush in half over the second so it opens towards the bottom. Fold a fourth rush in half over the third so it opens towards the left. Keep the center held tight. Weave the reeds. Add additional reeds one by one, folding them over and under the existing reeds. Maintain a consistent pattern, alternating the direction of each new reed with the previous one. Before placing the last piece, loosen a piece and thread the final piece through it, placing it the same way you did the previous steps. Then pull the piece tight. This will hold the whole thing together for you to tie off the ends. Secure the ends. Once you have woven all the reeds, trim any excess length if necessary. Use string or thin wire to tightly tie the ends of the reeds together at the back of the cross. Make sure the knots are secure. If desired, you can add decorative elements such as ribbons or flowers to the Brigid's cross. Attach them with string or wire, tying them around the center or attaching them to the back. Rituals and spells. A wonderful spell to perform during Imbolc is a candle blessing spell that focuses on welcoming the returning light, invoking the energy of Brigid, and setting intentions for the upcoming year. Here's a simple candle blessing spell that you can try. Candle blessing spell. Materials: a white or yellow candle, matches or a lighter, pen and paper. Optional. Additional candles for symbolism and ambiance. Set up your sacred space. Find a quiet and sacred space where you won't be disturbed. Set up your altar or sacred space with meaningful items such as flowers, symbols of Brigid, and any other elements that resonate with you. Light the candle. Light the white or yellow candle as a representation of the returning light and Brigid's energy. Take a few moments to ground yourself, center your energy, and connect with the energy of Imbolc. Meditate and reflect. Hold the candle in your hands and infuse it with your intentions and blessings for the upcoming year. Visualize the light of the candle radiating warmth, inspiration, and positive energy. Set intentions. Write your intentions, goals, or wishes on a piece of paper. Be specific and concise, focusing on what you wish to manifest and achieve in the coming months. Ignite your desires. Hold the paper over the candle flame, allowing it to catch fire. Safely drop the burning paper into a fireproof dish or cauldron, visualizing your intentions being released into the universe. As the paper burns, say aloud or in your mind, "Brigid, goddess of inspiration and transformation, bless this flame and my intentions. May they be carried forth on the winds of Imbolc and manifest in alignment with my highest good." Sit in quiet contemplation, focusing on the candle's flame, and visualize your intentions taking shape and coming to fruition. Conclude the ritual. Express gratitude to Brigid and the divine forces for their presence and guidance. Allow the candle to burn down safely or extinguish it while expressing gratitude and closing the ritual. Remember, the most important aspect of any spellwork is your focus, intention, and positive energy. Adapt this spell to suit your personal beliefs and intentions. May this candle blessing spell bring light, inspiration, and growth to your Imbolc celebrations.